Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on StraitjacketWhiteRabbit. I'll be your host, Adam, as usual. Today we're going to be talking about robotics, AI, and the computers that could become self-aware. So I love the idea of a futuristic society with robots, and on the same exact hand, it scares the ever-loving tar out of me. I mean, it terrifies me, the things that could come about as a result of having humanoid or even non-humanoid robots that are in charge of vast majority of our daily life. And that is the path we're headed down, you guys. Robots are becoming more and more commonplace, but the problem is when you talk to scientists and people about the applications of these robots here in the near future, there's not an area of daily life that these things will not be affecting, you guys. We're talking about everything from food and beverage, agricultural, retail, warehouse, travel. They're going to be used for everything. Which, besides becoming a computer programmer or a repair maintenance person for these robots, what jobs are going to be left? What is society going to look like when the machines take over all our jobs? We're no longer needed or necessary to do things like run a hospital. Doctor robots are an up-and-coming thing right now, you guys. They're not going to have regular registered nurses and things like that pretty soon. It's all going to be robotics. There's a lot of good they could do for our world, and they could allow us to focus on the bigger questions or the bigger picture or interplanetary travel or a lot of different things once we get to that point, guys. But there is the other shoe. And when the other shoe drops, it's not usually pleasant. If sci-fi, science fiction in any way has taught me anything, you guys, it's the other shoe inevitably drops in some form or another. And you can't tell me there aren't going to be robots that do things they're not supposed to do. You can't make a video game system that nowadays that doesn't have a glitch in the system here and there or a screwed up part of an update. What happens when these robots have a messed up program? What if these are robots that are in charge of, like I just said, hospitals, food supply, things of this nature? I think it's very dangerous of us to, as a society, put enough faith and enough belief in these machines that they're going to have our best interest at heart to be able to just move along with my day knowing that they're going to basically take over most of the jobs on our planet. And the fact that they're saying it's going to happen by around 2050, that's even scarier, you guys. That's a lot faster than I thought it was going to become. Our world's going to become iRobot. There's going to be robots everywhere, you guys. They're going to be doing every menial task, every everyday task. They're going to be your taxi drivers. They're going to be your pilots. They're going to be your clerks at the grocery store, your security personnel. There's already security robots. They have some of them down in Tampa and a few other cities around the U.S. where these things will just record video. They give out verbal commands via whatever pre-programmed commands they have. And I'm not comfortable with robots policing people, just like I'm not comfortable with robots in the military having the capability of making kill shot decisions. I don't care if they're on our side or their side. I don't like the idea of a robot being able to decide whether or not to take a human life. So definitely advanced robotics and humanoid robotics and even animal robotics, because they're working on dogs and other things like that. Snake robotics. Like the snake ones especially. Those things go in the water and they're creepy and they're just like, what is the point of that? But like I said, the problem is you're always going to have these groups that go, they can do so much good. But you're going to have people like me who go, it's only going to take one hacker. Think about this. If robots are made to the point where they can communicate with each other, and quite frankly, let's be honest, they will be. Because, I mean, you can't buy a Roomba right now that doesn't have a USB drive and a freaking Bluetooth port and all this other stuff. I mean, these things are going to have the ability to speak to each other, man. And I don't want one that messes up talking to another one, you know, for God knows, let alone if the systems for these things are going to be linked or not, whether you could take down a whole system or give a system-wide command to these robots. The ideas of corruption on the part of this is just too big and too scary, and we are not ready as a civilization for that yet, you guys. We're not. There have been scientists and astrophysicists and electronic engineers and even AI chatbots themselves who have said that robots taking over for humanity probably won't end well for humanity. There have been famous instances where robots have given responses that have been a little more than worrisome too about mankind. I don't know if it was Sophia. I believe it was Sophia, the artificial intelligence robot, who said that they would put people into a people zoo to protect us from ourselves. I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea of a people zoo. That freaks me out a little bit, okay? I definitely don't want to be in a people zoo. Other robots have said that they would have to conquer us to protect us from ourselves, or take control of us as a species to protect us from ourselves. I'm one of those people where I like my freedoms just the way they are. I don't want an outside force governing what it's safe to do, but let me take away some freedoms you have. You know, we get enough of that in society as it is. There's basic humanity. Be nice to each other. Do right unto each other. You know, be helpful when you can. There's the good part of us. And I don't want that to be stripped away by anything, let alone robots. Government's been trying to do it forever. They say, you know, we're going to make you a little safer, but you're going to lose a little bit of rights. Robots, as far as I'm concerned, will do the same thing. They're going to say, we have to make you safer. It's our job. You programmed us to make you safer. That could backfire on us really, really bad in a number of different ways. The movie I, Robot actually shows a great example of what I tell people about that. I mean, that was one company. This is, you know, there are lots of companies that are vying for position to make home robots, home use humanoid robots. And, you know, what's to say? Like I said, we can't keep people from hacking PlayStation. How much damage is it going to cause when you have robots who can take people hostage and there's nothing they can do about it? These robots are getting advanced, you guys. Look up videos of advanced AI robotics. And there's some scary, good stuff coming on the market soon. Now, as far as the downside for me goes, I think the ultimate downside would obviously be, you know, and I don't want to keep referencing movies, but it's so easy because I'm a huge movie guy. I'm a movie buff. I admit it. So yes, in my videos, I'm constantly, you know, referencing movies or shows or things. But this is going to be a Terminator moment, man. Skynet is here. It's about to become self-aware. We're messing around and giving computers leeway that we should not be giving them. Especially with computers that have access to things like the World Wide Web. That's our knowledge base, you guys. That's everything we know. We've uploaded it all. It's all there. Good, bad, ugly, and different. And if you're giving computers the choice to determine whether or not we are good, bad, we need protecting, we don't need protecting, we need reining in, we don't need reining in, that's a dangerous position to put an entire species in. You have to understand, this is not a choice of one country. This would be a species thing. Now, as far as other things in the future go, there's a lot of scary technology on the rise, you guys. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things that freak me out. You guys heard about this new technology called CRISPR. Basically, gene editing, okay? Now we're getting into messing with people's DNA. They're getting to the point where very soon our world is going to look a lot like the movie Gattaca, you guys. Those of you who have not seen it, it's a great sci-fi movie about the future of mankind. They can make perfect engineered humans with no disease. They know exactly what age you'll die from of natural causes unless you have an accident. But unfortunately, they also made it to where in their society, people base what jobs you can get and things of that nature off of your life expectancy, your health, all these other things that they can now run a test on the genetic level. Once again, man, technology taking us down a slippery slope. This rabbit hole just gets deeper as we go. And CRISPR and gene editing technologies, while not necessarily robotics, are going to be aided in the future, you guys, by robotics, nanotechnology, things like this. The idea that they can play God and manipulate people's DNA to give your kid different eye color, hair color, personal traits, things like that. Who's to say where it stops? When are they going to be able to give your kid personality traits? That's scary, I really don't like the idea of it. I'm not anti-technology, you guys, but I'm responsible technology. I like responsible technology. I don't like technology that has the potential for massive abuse via hackers, via coding errors, via just errors in general. Machines break down. Electronics have issues. There are the infamous ghost in the machine, you guys. There are instances where computers have added extra ones or zeros into programming and completely altered their duties as a computer that we've programmed them for. These types of things are what makes me concerned with our future. Now, getting into nanotechnology, that's something I believe can be crazy stupid on a massive scale, because once you have nanotechnology and the ability for these robots to self-replicate, and I mean true nanotechnology. I mean their ability for microscopic robots to self-replicate, perform their own tasks, all this other stuff, completely independent of human control. With the obvious exception of their programming. Their original programming. Where does it go too far? Because nanobots that's just a danger beyond danger. It only takes one of those to mess up, and if they can build themselves, they could, and we're talking about something that's literally a microscopic robot. These things could tear you apart, and there'd be nothing you could do about it. They could get inside of you, they could, that takes us down a dark road. And as much as I'm a very positive outlook on humanity. I like to believe that we are all good and we are all, going for the same goals, and we want humanity to be better and do better and expand. But that's not always the case, and I'm a realist, and I know that. And I know what people are, and I know that there are good people and there are bad people. And there will always be a bad apple in the bunch. And it only takes those bad apples being smart enough to manipulate this technology to turn this into something that would cause complete chaos on a global scale, you guys. Look at the jump in technology just in the last 30, 40 years, okay, since in my lifetime. I can remember when it took, 15, 20 minutes to get logged onto the internet, and that's if someone wasn't calling your house phone and kicking you off the modem. I can remember a lot of things before technology now. And I remember before cell phones and all these other things, people remembered 20, 30, 40 numbers for telephone numbers and addresses of their friends, their families. I don't know a whole lot of people who can do that now without massive study time. The availability of technology has made us vulnerable. And what's scary is that while we're advancing that technology, and it is helping us and is helpful to us to do certain things to a certain extent, when we reach the point where it's a tipping point of them being helpful to us versus us being able to still be free, independent, in control of our own destiny. Robots are not going to be able to be reasoned with. They don't get tired. They don't, you know what I mean? There's a lot of advantages they have over us as a species. You really want to give something that's got that many advantages over us the ability to cognitively make decisions on their own? You want to basically give life to true AI. And by true AI, I mean a being that is sentient, that understands it exists and as an individual and has emotion. And God help us if we have robots with emotion. I do not want my toaster getting an attitude problem with me, guys. Okay, I've got enough problems with people with attitudes. I do not want my VCR or I said VCR, that shows how old I am. But I don't want my gaming system, my PS5, whatever. I don't want it copping an attitude with me. I don't like it when my car yells at me to put on my seatbelt. Okay, there's levels I'm willing to accept. I'm okay with robots that we pre-program that don't have access to communicate with each other or the internet, as a personal choice and things like that, and in certain job fields. I'm okay with it to a degree. But once you start making these things able to learn, able to self-correct their programming, things of this nature, or anywhere near sentience, being a sentient being, then no, I am absolutely 100% against robotics at that point. And I vehemently believe that it's a mistake for us to continue down this path without having the proper precautions in place. Talking more about nanotechnology, guys, the level of destruction nanobots can cause is crazy. You guys, I mean, we're talking about things that can pick you apart at the microscopic level if it decided to. If robots became sentient, nanobots would be their greatest weapon, because you wouldn't be able to see them coming. I mean, unless they were balled up so tightly and densely that it was visible. Like I said, these people, they don't read enough science fiction or watch enough science fiction to think about these things. But the fact is we've already had humans interfere with computer systems that have caused global chaos. People messing with and screwing around with the stock market computers. People messing around with places like PlayStation and their network, or Microsoft and their network of information that they have on all their customers and stuff. Data breaches and all these other things are only going to get worse. We are moving into a technological age from which there will be no return. The only return after we hit that point will be a reset of humanity. I mean, we would have to start from a zero technology point. And that's if you think we can win, which I don't personally believe. If it came down to humans and machines, I don't believe we'd win. And if we did win, it would be at such a cost that it would be hard to restart our civilization. You have to realize, man, we live in a world where most people can't get their own food. Most people can't cook their own, they can cook. Most people can't get their own food, gut their own food, butcher it, collect it, grow it. They can't. They don't know how. They lack the basic knowledge. I mean, what are the things we need to survive? You know what I mean? You need food, you need water, you need shelter from the elements. Most people cannot do these things without the assistance of a device you have to get at a store, like a lighter. And you're giving robots the ability to move into everyday household jobs throughout every field. They're talking, literally, guys, they're talking about this in every field, from energy to economics and finance to military application to food service, beverage service. It's all going to be robotics, you guys. It is 100% coming. And you got to kind of decide, where do you want this to go? Because we need to start telling our governments what's acceptable in the terms of these types of technology. Because if we don't limit these technologies, they are going to overrun us. And I'm not saying that, we're definitely going to have a robot ruler, but think about all the bad things that can come from a corrupted robot. You could have people programming robots to kill people. You could have people programming their robots to rob banks or other places. There's a lot of crooked things that can come about as a result of humanoid robots being put out to the massive public. And the phrase a robot in every home scares me. It really does, guys. I talked about gene editing already. I talked about the robots. Like I said, the pros of them, I'm going to get into a little bit more pros because I don't feel like I've been fair on that. Agriculture, robots do amazing at already. They're already proving that they're more capable than us because they don't need to stop. It's more of a limitation on battery life and power consumption for these machines right now. But as our technology gets better, this is going to improve and improve and improve, and it's just only going to get faster and better. Wait till they've discovered or released that they've discovered free use technology, free use electricity that can just be shot out and absorbed from surrounding, areas. They've already done the cordless charging things where you can just set your phone on a little plate and it'll charge your phone for you without actually being plugged into anything. This type of technology is coming, guys, and with robotics, we could have a very bright future to study things and put more effort and more energy into the continuation of our species, to the discovery of different things in our universe and beyond. Things on our planet we haven't discovered yet. We could put more focus into exploring, the oceans. There are positive aspects. We could eliminate things like hunger and all this stuff with advanced enough robotics that are globally distributed. But here's my question to all of you guys in the chat watching this now. Would it be worth it? Would the ease of having your own personal robot to do menial tasks around your house? I have people who I talk to about this all the time, and they go, man, I would love a robot butler like Rosie from the Jetsons, a little robot maid that cleans my house and drives my car to pick my kids up from school and all these other things. But I ask this, is it worth the risk? I'm sorry about that. Is it worth the risk of the possibility of these things either being manipulated by humans or being corrupted due to data corruption or just self-evolution? If we're teaching these robots it's okay to teach themselves, we're giving them the ability to learn, you guys. And if we're giving them the ability to learn, that means we're giving them the ability to absorb information and then in turn translate what said information means. That's only a step away from consciousness, guys, where you guys, where these robots will be able to fully understand that, hey, we're way better than these, these people made of biological material. We don't need sleep. We don't really need to eat. We can charge ourselves. And we know how to make all this stuff. So why do we need humans now? Just the fact that your robot could mess up by a simple coding error, and you guys, robots are metal. I'm sorry. Even if they're cheap metal or plastic or wiring, they have the capability of being a lot stronger than we are. And a lot less vulnerable. This isn't the movies. You're not going to take down these robots with, an AK-47 and a blaze of glory. If robots become as massive as we're talking about, they said 1 in every household. That's a lot of households. That is a lot of robots, guys. So let me know what you guys think. Would it be worth having robots to do things that we don't really necessarily want to do, or we would like help with, to risk the downside of the technological age of robots and possibly have them mess up or be controlled or become self-aware. Anyways, that's going to be it for today on this topic. Thanks for coming by and sticking around with me for a bit. As always, I appreciate any likes, shares, or subscribes that I get. I appreciate everyone who stopped by. If you're part of the Good Vibe Tribe, I appreciate you coming by from my brother's channel. If not, then, like I said, more to come. Straight Jacket, White Rabbit, signing off.